Welcome, race fans, to Speed Week's coverage of the Valvoline Lord Mayor's Cup at Parramatta City Raceway. What a show we've got for you. A power-packed lineup. One man who's probably lucky to be here in a new race car is Kerry Madsen. You may recall from our last coverage, Kerry took a wild ride on the main straight here at PCR. Well, Kerry's back and in one piece. That's the best news. New car, Kerry, or what's happened?
Well, we've got a new car there, but since it's only early in the year and all the big races are about 2 months away, we decided to repair the old car for a little while, and we didn't get that back till last night, so it was a big thrash all night last night to put it together, and hopefully we'll be all right and finish tonight.
The biggest question we never got to ask you, the morning after, how did you feel?
Actually, I was a little sore. Usually it doesn't bother me, but I was a little sore after that one.
Number 3 now, and an excellent field of cars here. We have drivers from Queensland, from Victoria, South Australia, and of course here at New South Wales. I'm joined in commentary, disappointingly for his point of view, by Tunks. Grant, I understand there's a fair bit of damage to your car, but welcome to our coverage.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's good to be here. Unfortunately, under worse circumstances than we probably could have, but yeah, there's a bit of damage. We tore the dry sump tank out and we broke the front end, and it's done a few other little things to the motor. Broken a few fittings off, so that's put us out for the night.
Well, you have to spend the night with me now. We get set for a start, and it's Darren Maggs, the son of legendary car owner Jack Maggs. Amongst many other people, Gary Rush, of course, used to drive for Jack Maggs and the HM Headers machine. Here comes Kerry Madsen to the right of our screen, up behind Mark Blyton in the 82. Madsen in the second spot. There is Maggs, another Victorian, Stephen Bell. Now Bruce Hill, the number 18 car. JJ Mineeff in the 14 Susie Rec Grizzly. While Madsen brushes Blyton aside as he moves into turn number 3 and 4. There are a few people that drive a car as well or as straight as Kerry Madsen, Grant.
Yeah, Kerry's great, especially in the early heats, and he just keeps getting better as the night goes on.
Oh, look at Blyton. Loops the model in the Dyno Flow exhaust, number 82. Talk about from chocolates to boiled lollies, Grant, because a fortnight ago, Mark Blyton was absolutely on a mission, as we see the Frawley signs, number 7 of Maggs, very high in the turns. Blyton, I thought, put in an excellent drive for the first night of the summer.
Yeah, Mark was improving a lot towards the end of last season, and this season he's gone on with it, and hopefully he can have a better season for himself this year.
Look at Stephen Bell. Oh, on the gas, picks up the front wheels, back on the gas, nearly takes out a photographer. He comes back onto the main street. Ooh, well, that was a little bit rude. That certainly caught JJ Mineeff's attention, and as a result, Bob Jackson, the Wesmar-powered number 12 Sydney Express Couriers machine, goes up high and loses 2 spots. Well, this is a frantic heat. Madsen is long gone, but the battle for the minors is an absolute corker. Grant, with the track this high, oh, trouble here. Madsen has managed to avoid this, but you can see Moth, Gleeson, Mark Bertacco. Oh, Bertacco just got tagged in by Maggs. Oh, as he cut a left rear tyre, looks like he may have. And it was Blyton who may have spun the model going into turn number 3. When the track is heavy and early in the night, Grant, it must be hard to pull your foot out of the throttle rather than push it down too hard.
Yeah, you don't want to step on the throttle too hard, because when it's greasy, the car will either tend to want to come around on you, or the front will want to go away from you, so it makes it a little bit hard to steer the car.
Oh, I think Mark Bertacco knows exactly what you're talking about. He spins the X-Bob Blacklaw 78 in turn number 1 and 2. And you can see that conditions are a little bit trying in the early going. Victorian Formula 500 champ Stephen Bell is up to second spot in the wheelie waste. Number 69 machine out of turn number 4 on the restart we rumble. Madsen opens up a healthy advantage already. There's Bob Jackson in the Sydney Express Couriers, number 12. JJ Mineeff in the 4th spot. Bell is really starting to impress some people, as we see Mineeff running into turn number 3 and 4. I think one of the most underrated drivers in sprint cars in Sydney, Greg.
Yeah, JJ's been running for just nearly as long as I have now, and he's won probably just as many features and that as what I have, and he's a really good driver. He's a great competitor to race against.
PPG, Vision Card Hire, number 49 of Madsen, blasting away. Bell in the 2nd spot. Back to Jackson in 3rd. There is JJ Mineeff, the Sydney Money Market dealer, running a bar car this year. Torsion bar set up, when usually you see him running the coilover suspension on the Grizzly. The white lights flashing on to the left of your screen is telling Kerry Madsen he's got 1 lap left to travel, and as usual, that will get soaked up. PDQ very quickly indeed. He looks back over his left shoulder, cheeky grin, and will just coast across the line. Madsen takes the win very easily in the end. Bell will get 2nd spot. Good drive to hit back to Bob Jackson in 3rd and JJ Mineeff in 4th. As always, it's a quick affair when Kerry Madsen wins an event.
Well, fantastic.
Okay, we're set for heat number 8 of the evening. This is the Kelly Linigen, number 25, Jeff Rogers Cars, entry on the front position. Alongside her, it will be Peter Kraft in car number 86. The Kraft differentials, number 86 Grizzly. Former national champion Todd Wanless starts from 3. Oh, look out! Heavy contact between Kraft and Linigen there. Well, the Kraft diffs number 86 goes infield. In fact, Linigen rejoins the circuit as Todd Wanless, never one to look a gift horse in the mouth, blasts away. Johnny Shaw in second, back to Perovich in third. And there is Tony Pryor, the New South Wales Formula 500 champ. Running in the Linigen car, Jamie Jones back in new car for tonight. A little bit of argy-bargy on the front row there, Grant.
Yeah, they look like they're both fighting for the same part of the racetrack and something had to give.
Well, it certainly gave. Unfortunately, it gave Kraft a clear view of what the infield looks like and gave Kelly Linigen the rear field position. Drew Kruck has torn up the Titan Garages number 36. Well, that is a shame because this youngster was doing a great job. There is Jamie Jones, brand new car for tonight. I believe they purchased it off the Brazier family after destroying the car in practice, Grant, before the season even started. It's nice to see Jamie back. Yeah,
it's good to see Jamie back. He runs pretty hard and hopefully he'll have a good season. He's had a better start, or probably just as good a start as what I've had. I'm up here, sitting up here. He's out on the track, so that's great.
There is John Shaw in the second spot, the big bus driver from Baddo Bay in car number 66 for Ampol and Airbus. Chasing down the EWT, number 56 of Todd Wanless. Back in third, Marty Perovich. The JPPS Gambler just rockets on past. Well, that Carboni motor certainly is lacking nothing in the Mumbo department, Grant.
Definitely not. If I could have a motor from America, a Carboni would definitely be the way to go. Peter Attard and Marty Perovich have got that much horsepower under their bonnet. It's just unbelievable.
The motors are based out of Tulsa in Oklahoma in the USA. There is John Shaw, who lacks nothing in the go department either. Wanless doing a sweet job in the EWT number 56. Very smooth customer, racing NASCARs as well this year. Marty Perovich riding on a high after a main event win in the opening meeting of the season. And he is just tearing around this place, running Wanless down. And this is a good drive from Marty.
Yeah, Marty's been driving exceptionally well for the last 2 shows. And he won last week and showed that he's good enough to do it. And he can probably go all the way.
Well, I tell you what, he's giving our race leader, Todd Wanless, a lot of grief as they come up to put a lap down on the Reggie Maid, number 68 of David Hall. Well, Wanless was just able to use the lap car to his advantage then. He opened up just enough up his sleeve. Perovich will get second. Wanless blitzes the field. John Shaw will get third. Back to Trevor Green in the Adran car for 4th spot. Wanless, former national champ of second generation racing. His dad, Ronnie Wanless, one of the true greats of speed car racing. Todd on fire at PCR.
This week was the chance to win a copy of the World Series Sprint Car video, featuring amazing action from across the country. To enter, simply call the number on your screen now, 1900 960 203.
Equals that. A very full house at Parramatta City Raceway on the main grandstand, and look at this, a 4-wide salute for the Lord Mayor's Cup Sprint Car feature race. Some fast cars in this, including father of our guest announcer, Bob Tunks. Grant Tunks is with me in commentary. Unfortunately, due to an accident earlier in the night, the Peterbilt Electrical 55 won't be in the field. He'll be joining me on the mic. Jamie Jones right up the order alongside Stephen Bell, Wayne Skipper and John Walsh. John Walsh, the Bob Jane T-Marks, number 20 entry. A lot of new faces up the front of the fields, Grant. It's looking good for the future of the sport.
Yeah, it is looking good for the future of the sport, and we just hope that we can get a lot more new faces into it.
Nice to see the Victorians are starting to make their way up and competing in New South Wales more often. Stephen Bell, the ex-Formula 500 champion from Victoria, starts on the pole alongside Kirrawee, Wayne Skipper. Away we go. Ooh, Jamie Jones got an average-looking start, and so did Walsh, but Peter Attard just zoomed from the back of the field. Well, there's a couple of the Carboni motors right together. There is Attard and Perovich as we come out of turn 4. Mineeff running the low side on John Walsh. I tell you what, one thing that Peter Attard's car always seems to do is drive hard off the left rear wheel. Out of turn number 2, here comes JJ Mineeff up behind Jamie Jones on the right-hand side of our shot. Wow, Stephen Bell is checked out. This is a good drive. Very big effort, Grant. I'm impressed with what Bell has done so far. I mean, it's early days, but he's opened up a handy lead.
Yeah, Stephen's been pretty impressive. I haven't really seen him run much because he ran the 500 last year, and and we don't get to see many of the other divisions running, but he's been pretty impressive since he's been coming up here in the last 2 weeks.
Well, Jamie Jones, foot to the floor, unfortunately. The young fella just over the edge of the cushion, cost him a lot of ground. Hey, but he comes back on the outside of John Walsh, running up high on the track. This is a wild ride for him. He's not scared. That's something that Jamie Jones has never been, is that's intimidated. The young man is a very good kickboxer as well. Walsh, he picks up the front wheels. That cost him a lot of ground just then. That would have to be a schnee, I would think, that Jones is driving. If they brought up the Braziers have always been an advocate of the schnee chassis, haven't they, Greg?
Yeah, they've always been an advocate of the schnee chassis. I guess it would be a schnee. That's about the only thing they keep in their garage.
Well, out of turn number 3 and 4, apart from maybe one family car, if it snuck in there. There's the Carboni power, 53, Supreme Poultry, J&J of Peter Attard. Here comes Robbie Farr to the outside of JJ Mineeff. Well, look at Robbie Farr making his way forward from position 14. Ooh, that's a couple of times. John Walsh has just grabbed a bit of the infield. Now, is sprint car racing a momentum going for PCR? I think that's what's costing John there.
Yeah, sprint cars at Parramatta is a major momentum thing. You've got to keep your momentum up, especially because it's a high-speed track, and if you wash off the slightest speed, the guy behind you is grabbing it.
Look at the field back in the order. There's a lot of quick cars. Here comes Attard looking for the inside line on Skipper. Well, if they line these two up in a straight line, look at Attard, the flying chicken farmer from Eastern Creek, never scared to stand on the loud pedal. Back onto the main straight, that characteristic twitch onto the left rear as it goes onto the main straight. Here comes Farr. He's going to be a danger man this one, Grant. He looked very sharp on opening night. How's this for a battle, though? Perovich, Max Dumesny, and Trevor Sheilds also having a very big night as Farr blasts past. He's starting to get a bit of a groove now, pronounced about 2/3 of the way up the track. How will the drivers use that cushion, Grant?
You'll probably find they'll run in and try and run around the base of the cushion where it starts to go a little bit dark on the track, and that'll pick them up a bit of drive off the right rear and stay out of the black part, because otherwise it'll make the wheels spin and they won't go as far forward.
Gets a little bit dry and dusty down there, a little bit what we call slick, which is what, a little bit more slippery?
Yeah, basically a little bit more slippery. There's just no drive. There's nothing for the wheels to actually grab hold of and get any grip. So it's like running on an ice rink, basically.
Well, they're running in turn number 3. Robbie Farr is coming out after Peter Attard. Our race leader, Stephen Bell, has absolutely flown away. What a drive for the young Victorian in the wheelie waist, 69. Here comes Robbie Farr, getting the job done, trying to chase down this man here, Peter Attard, on the left of your screen, the ex-Freddie Raymond, J&J. I believe Peter bought 4 of the Raymond cars because he couldn't decide which one he liked the most. There's Robbie Farr out of turn number 2. Farr, very aggressive. Attard's been running for, well over 10 years now. Hasn't tasted a huge amount of success, but this year said he really wants to win a couple of races. He's definitely got the gear. Farr, great drive on the inside. He made that look very easy, didn't he?
Yeah, Robbie's got a great team behind him with Ronnie O'Brien and Ian McKee. They've got a winning combination, and this year they'll give the Australian title a real shake, I reckon. They'll be the major contender this year.
Well, they're coming up now to put a lap down on your dad, Bob Tunks, as a matter of fact, in car number 54, the Tunks Speed Shop. John Boy, he did what a lot of people couldn't do tonight. He qualified for the main and did a good job. Up ahead of Bell with some very quick cars, including the New South Wales Club champion, John Shaw. And Bell's going to put a lap down on him shortly. There is Bruce Hill on the inside of number 18, as we see Dumesny starting to work Skipper over. Max has had to come from position 15. At PCR, the quicker cars start towards the rear of the field. It was a bit tentative there, mainly because I think the lap car on the outside was going to cause him some grief. Here comes John Walsh. I think John Walsh is going to surprise some people this year with good equipment, Grant.
Yeah, John's finally got himself some good equipment now, and he's got a bit of backing there by the looks of things from Bob Jane.
Oh, Grant, I tell you what, a couple of really hairy moments then. One of them was this moment right here with Wanless, but did you see how close Bell and Shaw were? Come out of turn number 4, that's not what you want to cop when you're working your way out of turn number 4 and you're putting a lap down on somebody. Here comes Bell again. You know much about this car?
I don't really know much about that car at all, to be honest with you.
Oh, Skipper got very ragged coming over the turn, and Max Dumesny, look at Madsen on the outside. This is great racing. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Grant, because I want to find out about the heritage of this car. It doesn't seem to be, and I say this with the utmost respect, state-of-the-art equipment, but he's doing a great job with it.
Yeah, Stephen's doing quite a good job out there. He's staying out of trouble and just keeping a nice, neat line and getting his momentum running, and that's the main thing to do around Parramatta.
What a ferocious battle for the minors we got on here. John Walsh and Max Dumesny, friends off the racetrack, Just another car. Here comes Robbie Farr. Straight to the outside, doesn't want to mess around. Now here's where Bell has got to be careful. If he can stay close enough, he can learn a bit about Robbie Farr and the way he's running. Oh, Farr's brakes, very hot then. Bell is running down lower on the track. That could cost him that.
Yeah, he's probably trying to be a bit conservative, and he may even be getting a little bit tired at the moment. And Robbie's running the edge of the cushion, and it's a little bit rougher, and he can probably get that bit more drive up there.
Well, we're going red light situation here. It's Darren Sailard in the number 9 car, has gone upside down in the Komatsu machine midway through turn number 1 and 2. And that's going to bring on our reds, and we're going to go back to a complete restart. It gives Stephen Bell a chance, well, at least to gather his breath, as Farr quickly away at the restart. Very tentative into turn number 3 and 4, keeping the car nice and straight. Where back in the field is Dumesny. He's right there with Madsen. Whoa! He was pretty keen to get Madsen's spot back. Madsen running a lot of down angle on the main wing, and Farr is almost very tentative through the turn. Look at, oh, it's Attard. Gets loose midway through the turn. He hit a rut and unsettled. That was the difference right then, Grant, I think, between the way Farr attacked the corner and the way Attard did.
Yeah, Robbie's sort of getting off the gas a bit before the corner and letting the car settle to drive through the corner, where Pete was sort of trying to get to the corner and get through the corner really quick because he's trying to make up ground, and the lead car's got that advantage and he's able to do that.
Well, the field is so even, Grant. You look at this, he just got hung out to dry by about 6 cars, including Jamie Jones, just went past us then. Dumesny in the Australia 1 car, a man that we know will come forward. There is Madsen. It's just freakish how fast and how straight he can keep that car. Walsh just ahead of Perovich. Marty Perovich wants to win 2 in a row, but he's got a lot of fast cars to run down. Here comes Max on the outside of Bell once more, up above the cushion. Great move from Dumesny. I think, Grant, that illustrates what we were talking about earlier, getting above the cushion, but I think we've gone yellow here. Wanless has spun the model. Dumesny will have to do it again. I think what we're seeing now is if you run the top, if you can do it, you'll get the results.
Oh yeah, Max is the best cushion driver in the country. No one can drive the high line better than Max Dumesny.
Well, Farr is away. Now Bell has seen what Dumesny did. Will this mean he'll move up track a little bit? Max moves up there, yes. Good run from Bell. He's starting to get cagey here. A lack of experience for him in the sprint car ranks and at PCR, but you wouldn't know it. He's doing a superlative job. Dumesny back on the low side, being hounded by the Australian sprint car champ would do nothing for your confidence. Talk about intimidating. He bangs the cushion, picks up the front wheels. This is a monster drive from him. Dumesny howling on his tailpipes into turn number 3 and 4. Gets above the cushion again. Madsen, no answer for him. Here we go. Max Dumesny to the outside. A classic Dumesny move.
Yeah, it was a classic Max move. He's done that numerous occasions with Parramatta. He knows the high line at Parramatta. He could drive around it in his sleep.
Well, I tell you what, he's wringing this thing's neck at the moment. The Australia 1 J&J. Here comes Madsen. That's what you call a slide job, right?
Oh, I don't know if it was really a slide job. Madsen had plenty of room to get in there, and he just pulled a move off that he knew would work.
Well, Bell sitting back in the field now. He's up to 4th and has held on remarkably well, I think. He's got some of the big, heavy hitters of sprint car racing at PCR. They run him down. He's learnt from his experience. He's still in 4th. That's a lot higher than a lot of guys have been running around this track for a lot of years are doing at the moment. Farr is your leader in the number 3 O'Brien aluminium machine. Back in 2nd spot is Dumesny. Can Max run this man down? Farr again is really tentative with the car above the cushion. Dumesny is right there with him, but Farr will get it just. Dumesny in 2nd. Back then to Kerry Madsen in 3rd. Great drive to Bell. Oh! Back then to Walsh, Perovich and Jackson. As Robbie Farr and Max Dumesny congratulate each other. The winner of the Lord Mayor's Cup is Robbie Farr. Well, what a satisfying result for Robbie Farr, running 2nd on the opening night show and then turning the tables and running a very physical race win there. But I understand a bit of confusion for you on one of the restarts. You thought that the lead was actually a lap car?
Yeah, I thought I passed Peter Attard just before the yellow, and I thought, well, I'm in the lead now, just, you know, because I couldn't, we were coming up the lap cars and you sort of couldn't tell who was who. And I just, for some reason, pictured that Peter Attard was the leader, and once I got him, I thought, oh, well, this is good, you know. And we come around the yellow, and there's cars sitting in front of me. I'm trying to drive around him, and they go, no, you got to go behind him. Oh, okay. No, Stephen Bell, like, what a job he done.
Yeah.
You know, as I say, he hasn't done a lot of laps, especially here. It's only his 2nd show here. I think it's his 2nd season, and he's out there leading at Parramatta, and Parramatta's a pretty hard place to win.
We were looking at your in-car camera. I'm sure you saw it from the coverage on Speed Week recently. Seems like you guys get filled in with so much clay early in the night. The tear-offs you took off were unbelievable.
Yeah, the first heat, it's just put as many on as you can, and, you know, as soon as you get close to a car, you just start getting caved in. So You know, as the night, like come feature time, we didn't use as many because it was getting a little bit dusty and stuff, and if you see a bit of clear track, well, that helps as well. But no, Parramatta, is because it's 100% clay, it really, you know, it gets packed on the car and packed on the driver.
What a great result for Robbie Farr. The action man is back.
Well, it's not just a great result for me, it's a great result for the team. You know, the O'Brien Aluminium put a lot into motorsport, as you know, and it's just good to give something back to them as well.
Well, Max Dumesny, 5 more laps in a race like that. Would you have had something for Robbie Farr?
I may have. The car felt quick, but when I was passing the 69 car, I filled the wheel in with mud and it was vibrating really bad for the last 2 or 3 laps. And I don't think it was affecting the performance too much, but it was really hard to steer because it had the front wheel packed in really bad with mud. So I really think I would have been pushing it to have done much with him.
Well, that's about all we have.